I want you to think about something for a moment. 5 years from now, you are going to be somewhere. You are going to be living in some place, doing some kind of work, surrounded by certain people, feeling a certain way when you wake up in the morning. The question is, will that place, that work, those people, that feeling, will any of it look the way you actually want it to look? Or will you be sitting there 5 years from now, a little older, a little more tired, wondering where the time went, wondering why things didn't change, wondering why you still feel the same emptiness, the same frustration, the same quiet sense that you were meant for something more? Here's the truth. 5 years from now, you will arrive. The only question is, where? And the answer to that question is being decided right now. Not tomorrow, not when things settle down, not when you have more money or more time or more confidence. Right now. In the decisions you make today, in how you spend your hours, in what you choose to invest in. And here is what I want to talk to you about today. Most people spend their entire lives investing in everything, except the one thing that determines the quality of everything else. They invest in their cars, their clothes, their houses, their entertainment, their comfort. But they never, truly never, invest in themselves. And one day they wake up and realize, too late, that the most important investment they could have ever made was the one they kept putting off. Today, I'm going to talk to you about that investment, about why it matters more than anything else you will ever put your time, money, or energy into, about what it actually means to invest in yourself, and about what happens to your income, your relationships, your confidence, your peace of mind when you finally decide to do it. Because here's what I know for certain. It is never truly too late to begin. The longer you wait, the more expensive the delay becomes. Let's talk about it.
Now, before we go any further, I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Because when most people hear the phrase invest in yourself, they think it means buying a course, or reading a book, or going to the gym. And yes, those things are part of it. But investing in yourself is much bigger than any single action. Investing in yourself means making a fundamental decision that your growth, your mental, physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual development is the most important project of your life. It means treating yourself like the asset you actually are. Think about it this way. Every skill you develop increases your value. Every book you read expands your thinking. Every difficult experience you push through builds your resilience. Every healthy habit you build improves your energy and your clarity. You are, in every sense of the word, an asset. And like any asset, you can either appreciate or depreciate over time. The person who invests in themselves, who consistently learns, grows, challenges themselves, builds new skills, that person appreciates. They become more valuable, more capable, more confident, more attractive to opportunity. The person who doesn't invest in themselves, who stays comfortable, avoids challenge, consumes without creating, drifts without direction, that person depreciates, slowly, quietly, until one day they look up and realize the world has moved on without them. Now, here is what most people get wrong about this. They think investing in yourself is selfish. They think taking time for their own growth means taking time away from their family, their work, their responsibilities. Let me tell you something. The most generous thing you can do for the people you love is become the best version of yourself. A better you is a better parent, a better partner, a better friend, a better leader, a better employee, a better human being. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot give what you do not have. When you invest in yourself, you fill the cup, and from that cup, everyone around you drinks. So let's talk about exactly how to do it.
Let's talk about the 6 most important areas where you need to start investing in yourself starting today.
The first and most important investment you will ever make is in your mind. Jim Rohn, one of the greatest personal development teachers who ever lived, said something I have never forgotten. He said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune." Read that again. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. The education system teaches you how to work for money. Self-education teaches you how to make money work for you. The education system gives you information. Self-education gives you transformation. And here's the thing about investing in your mind. It is the only investment that can never be taken from you. Your car can be repossessed. Your house can be foreclosed. Your savings can be lost. But what you know, the ideas in your mind, the skills in your hands, the wisdom in your bones, nobody can take that. Ever. So how do you invest in your mind? You read. Every single day. Not scrolling through social media. Not consuming content that entertains you for a moment and leaves nothing behind. Real reading. Books. The kind of books that challenge how you think, that expand what you believe is possible, that give you new frameworks for understanding the world. Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor who has ever lived, reads 500 pages every single day. When asked about the key to his success, he pointed to his head and said, "That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest." Compound interest. Think about that. Every book you read compounds. The first book makes you a little smarter. The 10th book makes you significantly smarter. The 100th book makes you a fundamentally different thinker than the person you were before. But it only compounds if you start, and it only compounds if you're consistent. So here is what I want you to do, starting today. Commit to reading for 30 minutes every day. Not an hour, not a chapter. 30 minutes. Anyone has 30 minutes. You have 30 minutes you are currently giving to your phone. Give it to a book instead. In 1 year, at 30 minutes per day, you will have read approximately 18 to 20 books. Do you know how many people read 18 books in a year? Less than 1% of the population. In 1 year, with just 30 minutes a day, you can put yourself in the top 1% of knowledge in any field you choose. That is the power of investing in your mind. That is what consistent reading does. But reading is only one part of investing in your mind. The other part is being intentional about what else goes in. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, grows. Whatever you water, flourishes. So be very careful about what you are planting. Be careful about what news you consume, what conversations you have, what voices you allow into your head. Because every input shapes your thinking. Every input becomes part of how you see the world. And how you see the world determines the actions you take. And the actions you take determine the life you live. Guard your mind like your most valuable possession. Because it is.
The second investment, and this one is non-negotiable. You must invest in your body. Now, I know, you've heard this before. Eat better, exercise more, get enough sleep. You've heard all of it. And still, most people treat their body like a rental car, running it hard, filling it with cheap fuel, never maintaining it, and wondering why it keeps breaking down. But here is what I want you to understand. Your body is not separate from your success. Your body is your success. Your energy levels determine how much you can do. Your physical health determines how long you can do it. Your vitality determines how fully you can enjoy it when you get there. The most successful people in the world are not successful despite taking care of their bodies. They are successful partly because of it. Because here's what nobody talks about. When you are physically healthy, when you sleep enough, when you exercise regularly, when you fuel your body with what it needs, your brain works better. Your focus is sharper. Your emotional regulation is stronger.
Your resilience is higher. Your creativity is more alive. Every single domain of your life improves when your body is working the way it was designed to work. And here is the painful truth on the other side. Every hour of sleep you sacrifice, you lose cognitive function. Every meal of junk food, you cloud your thinking. Every day of no movement, you drain your energy. Every year of neglecting your body, you accelerate your decline. The body keeps score. It remembers everything you did to it and everything you refused to do for it. And eventually, it sends you the bill. I have seen it happen too many times. A person spends 30 years sacrificing their health to build their career, and then spends the next 30 years sacrificing their career to rebuild their health. Don't let that be your story. Invest in your body now, while you can, while the investment still pays compounding returns rather than just trying to recover what was lost. Here is what that looks like in practice. Move your body for at least 30 minutes every single day. It does not need to be a brutal workout. A walk counts. A bike ride counts. Dancing in your living room counts. What matters is that you move every day without exception. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. This is not laziness. This is maintenance. This is when your brain consolidates memory, when your body repairs tissue, when your immune system does its deepest work. Sleep is not time wasted. Sleep is investment. Eat food that gives you energy rather than taking it. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to follow some extreme diet. Just begin to notice, how do I feel after I eat this? Does this food give me energy or drain it? Let your body guide you. These are not complicated things, but they require a decision. A decision that your body matters enough to take care of. A decision that your health is worth the investment. Make that decision today. Your future self is depending on it.
The third investment, and this one will directly change your financial life. Invest in your skills. Here is a fundamental truth about how the world works. The world pays you in direct proportion to the value you bring to it. Not in proportion to how hard you work. Not in proportion to how long you've been doing something. Not in proportion to how much you need the money. In proportion to the value you bring. And value comes from skills. The person with rare, in-demand skills has options. They have leverage. They have the ability to negotiate, to choose, to walk away from situations that don't serve them. They have freedom. The person with common, easily replaceable skills has very few options. They are at the mercy of whoever is willing to pay for those skills. They have very little leverage, very little freedom. So the question you need to ask yourself, honestly, is this. Are the skills I have right now rare enough and valuable enough to give me the life I want? If the answer is yes, invest in sharpening them further. If the answer is no, invest in developing new ones, now. Because here is the reality of the world we live in. The skills that were valuable 10 years ago may not be valuable 10 years from now. The job that seems secure today may not exist tomorrow. The industry you've built your career in may be completely different in 5 years. The only job security that truly exists in the 21st century is the security that comes from being so skilled, so genuinely valuable, that the world will always find a place for you, regardless of what changes, regardless of what disrupts, regardless of what gets automated. Invest in skills that are hard to replicate, skills that require deep human judgment, skills that combine knowledge from multiple domains, skills that solve real problems for real people. And invest in them relentlessly. Take the course, attend the workshop, find the mentor, practice deliberately. Put yourself in situations that stretch you beyond what you currently know. Every skill you develop is a door that opens, and behind every door is more opportunity, more income, more freedom, more life. You cannot afford to stop learning. Not in this world, not at this pace of change. The most dangerous thing you can do right now is to think that what you know is enough. It is not enough. It is never enough. Stay hungry. Stay learning. Keep investing in what you can do. Because what you can do determines what you can have.
And what you can have determines the life you get to live.
The fourth investment, and this one is the one most people overlook completely. Invest in your relationships. Jim Rohn said it better than anyone ever has. He said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Read that slowly. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not slightly influenced by, not somewhat shaped by, the average of. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time with right now. Think about their mindset, their habits, their ambitions, their attitude toward life, their relationship with money, with health, with growth. Now ask yourself, is the average of those 5 people who you want to become? Because whether you are conscious of it or not, you are moving toward that average every single day. You absorb the beliefs of the people around you. You adopt their standards. You mirror their habits. You inherit their ceiling. This is not a criticism of the people in your life. Many of them are good people who love you. But love and growth are not always the same thing. You can love someone and still recognize that spending all of your time with them is keeping you from becoming who you are capable of being. So invest in your relationships, deliberately, intentionally. Seek out people who are where you want to be, people who have built what you want to build, people who think in ways that expand your thinking rather than confirm your limitations, people whose standards are higher than yours, so that being around them naturally raises your own. And at the same time, nurture the relationships you already have that feed your soul, your close friendships, your family bonds, the people who know your full story and love you anyway. Because success without meaningful connection is not success. It is loneliness with a better view. Invest in your relationships. Invest time. Invest attention. Invest vulnerability. Invest showing up, not just when it's convenient, but when it matters. Because the quality of your relationships will determine the quality of your life more than almost anything else. Research from Harvard, the longest running study on adult happiness ever conducted, spanning over 80 years, found that the single greatest predictor of health, happiness, and longevity in old age was not wealth, was not fame, was not achievement. It was the quality of relationships. 80 years of data, thousands of people studied, and the answer was love, connection, belonging. Invest in the people who matter to you before you run out of time to do it. The fifth investment, and the one that perhaps carries the most stigma, but matters more than any of them. Invest in your mental health. Let me say something that I believe with every part of me. You cannot build a great life on a broken foundation. And for so many people, the foundation is broken. Not because they are weak, not because they are damaged beyond repair, but because nobody ever taught them how to take care of what is happening inside them. Nobody ever gave them the tools. We live in a world that teaches us to invest in everything external. Our education, our career, our appearance, our possessions. But almost no one teaches us how to process grief, how to manage anxiety, how to heal from the wounds of our past, how to regulate our emotions under pressure, how to find peace in the noise. And so we carry these things, silently, for years, for decades, letting them quietly sabotage our relationships, our decisions, our self-worth, our joy. Investing in your mental health means getting honest about what you are carrying. It means finding a therapist if you need one. And let me tell you, most people need one. Not because something is wrong with them, but because having a safe space to process your inner life is one of the most productive things a human being can do. It means developing a mindfulness or meditation practice, even 5 minutes a day. Research from Harvard Medical School has shown that regular mindfulness practice physically changes the structure of the brain, increasing gray matter in the areas responsible for emotional regulation, focus, and compassion. It means journaling, getting your thoughts out of your head and onto paper so you can see them clearly, examine them honestly, and understand them deeply. It means learning to set boundaries, learning to say no to what drains you so you can say yes to what restores you. Investing in your mental health is not weakness,
It is the most disciplined, most courageous, most powerful investment you can make. Because everything flows from the state of your inner world. Your confidence, your decisions, your relationships, your creativity, your resilience. All of it starts inside. Tend to the inside. Invest in it consistently. And watch how dramatically everything on the outside begins to shift.
The sixth investment, and the most urgent one of all, invest in your time. Now, I know what you were thinking. Time is not something you invest, time is something you spend. But that is exactly the problem. Most people spend their time. They spend it carelessly. They spend it on things that do not serve them. They spend it reacting to other people's urgencies. They spend it on entertainment that numbs them rather than nourishes them. They spend it scrolling through other people's highlight reels while their own life quietly slips by. The people who build extraordinary lives, the people who look back with gratitude rather than regret, they do not spend time. They invest it. They ask of every hour, what return is this giving me? Not just financially, but in growth, in connection, in health, in purpose, in becoming the person they want to be. Because here is the hardest truth about time that nobody wants to hear. You have a finite amount of it. Not theoretically finite, actually finite, measurably finite. The average human life is approximately 4,000 weeks. If you are 20 years old, you have around 3,000 weeks left. If you are 30, around 2,500. If you are 40, around 2,000. Read those numbers again. Sit with them. Feel them. They are not meant to terrify you. They are meant to wake you up. Because once you truly understand that your time is limited, truly feel it in your bones, the way you treat it changes completely. You stop saying yes to things that do not matter. You stop giving your hours to people who do not value them. You stop delaying the things that truly matter to you. The work, the experiences, the conversations, the growth. Because you finally understand that later is not guaranteed. Later is a luxury. Now is what you have. So invest your time, deliberately, purposefully, in the things that compound, in the things that make you better, in the things that bring you closer to who you want to be. Because when you are at the end of your life, and one day you will be, you will not wish you had spent more time scrolling your phone. You will not wish you had watched more television. You will not wish you had played it safe more often. You will wish you had invested your time more bravely, more fully, more intentionally. Do not wait for that moment to realize it. Realize it now, while you still have time to do something about it. Now I want to talk about something that most people never calculate: the cost of not investing in yourself. We talk about the cost of a course, the cost of a gym membership, the cost of therapy, the cost of a book. And yes, all of those things cost money. They cost time, they require effort, but nobody calculates the cost of not doing those things. The cost of staying the same. Let me show you what that cost looks like. The person who does not invest in new skills stays in the same job at the same income year after year while the world passes them by. Over a career of 40 years, that gap in earning, that ceiling on their financial life, that is worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions. The person who does not invest in their health spends their 50s and 60s fighting diseases that could have been prevented. They spend what should be their most abundant years recovering what they lost. The cost is not just financial. It is time with their family, experiences they cannot have, a vitality they cannot reclaim. The person who does not invest in their relationships wakes up one day successful by every external measure and profoundly alone. And they realize too late that the relationships they neglected, the bridges they did not build, the love they did not tend, those were the things that would have made success actually feel like success. The person who does not invest in their mental health carries their wounds for decades, makes the same mistakes over and over,
pushes away the people they love, sabotages the opportunities they worked so hard to create, because the inner work was never done. Do you see the cost? Do you see what it actually costs, not just to invest in yourself, but to not invest in yourself? The price of investment is real, but the price of not investing is so much higher. It is paid in regret, in mediocrity, in unlived potential, in a life that looked nothing like what you knew somewhere deep inside it could have been. You deserve better than that. And the only person who can decide you are going to have better than that is you.
Let me bring everything together. 6 investments, 6 areas of your life where beginning now, starting today, will change everything about where you end up. Invest in your mind. Read, learn, guard what you let in. Invest in your body. Move, sleep, fuel yourself like the asset you are. Invest in your skills. Become so valuable the world cannot ignore you. Invest in your relationships. Surround yourself wisely. Love the people who matter before it's too late. Invest in your mental health. Do the inner work. Heal what needs healing. Build what needs building. Invest in your time. Treat every hour as the precious, non-renewable resource it is. Now, here is what I know about you. You watched this video for a reason. Something inside you, some part of you that refuses to settle, that refuses to believe this is all there is, something inside you brought you here today. That part of you is not wrong. You are capable of more than you have shown the world so far. You have potential sitting inside you right now that has never been fully expressed. Skills you have not yet developed. A version of yourself you have not yet become. But none of that will happen on its own. It will only happen if you invest. If you make the decision, not tomorrow, not when things get easier, not when you feel ready, today, right now, in this moment. The greatest investment you will ever make is in yourself. Not because it is easy, not because it is comfortable, not because it always pays off immediately, but because you are worth it. Because your life is worth building deliberately. Your potential is worth nurturing carefully. Your future is worth fighting for daily. So I want to leave you with one question. Not a rhetorical question, a real one. A question I want you to sit with after this video ends. The question is this. What is one investment in yourself, just one, that you have been putting off that you are going to start today? Not next week, not next month, not when things calm down. Today. Write it down. Commit to it. Take one step toward it before the sun sets on this day. Because here is the truth that I hope you carry with you from this moment forward. It is never too late to begin. But the best time to begin was yesterday. The second best time is right now. Go invest in yourself. The world is waiting for who you are going to become. Thank you.